Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fifth Down Territory, sponsored by Stadium Rant. And you know what time it is. You know who it is. We're here every week at Stadium Rant HQ Tyler, at Bahookie, Montana. Come and clutch every week at Austin, or at Buick's back with us. Austin's hanging in there. And look, we're going to make good on our promise to deliver a show that's at least 3 times more watchable than the Titans-Dolphins game from last night, okay?
See, I told you were going to
Easily 3 times more.
I told you were going to get
whatever the frick that was.
The brutal. Dude, I was sweating that Devon Achane first touchdown through a majority of that game. And I watched Tony Pollard
you didn't get to see
away.
A first touchdown until like a second half, I think.
Yeah, Pollard sprints away on that like 41-yarder. I'm just like, we're cooked. That's it. Stick the fork in it. All gone.
What would you rather have? The entire Dolphins-Titans roster or one Kenneth Walker?
Do I get a Tyreek Hill? Like, give me Tyreek Hill and Mason Rudolph. I think that works.
Okay.
I guess. It worked. It will work better than Tyler Huntley. I think the Titans won that game solely because Will Levis wasn't playing quarterback. So
I completely agree with that. He threw a pick like 2 seconds into that game. Man gives the meme content.
Incredible.
The alternate intro that I had was like, welcome to a show that's harder to keep down than Anzalone tackling Kenneth Walker. Because can we talk about his sweet WWE top move that he did to get the first down?
Sick. That was sick.
All right, guys. Yeah. Well, let's run it. We're gonna go ahead and start out with our run of the week at the beginning. So give me your biggest surprises, overreactions, or underreactions, and your certified sicko of the week. Tyler, why don't you go ahead and go first and run all of that?
Word. So I think the biggest surprise to a quarter of the season right now is the Jags being 0-4. Like I knew their defense was going to take a hit. We all understood that like Press Taylor isn't the best play caller. I thought they were moving away from him this offseason. And it just looks like a mess, man. Both sides of the ball, they're getting pushed around. And then in games that they could win, they're just doing everything they can to choke it away. Like week 1, when they played Miami, they were up 17-3. Travis Etienne fumbles going into the end zone. All of a sudden, next thing you know, the Miami wins that game.
Their season pretty much ended after that fumble.
It's incredible. Like Doug Peterson is somebody who has earned my respect because I thought he was a phony, and that man sauced on us in a Super Bowl, which is deeply, deeply unfortunate for my soul. But I'm man enough to admit, you got me. I thought that he was going to be able to make this offense go way better, and it's hitting this wall, and he might be fired mid-season, which is incredible to me. My overreaction, underreaction. My overreaction is people are saying that the Bengals are back. You're 1-3 with losses to the Commanders and the Patriots, and the Panthers gave you a game right up until like a minute and 25 seconds left in that game. Like they were in it. Andy Dalton was slinging. He did not want to lose to Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, but like they just have more talent. They just, like at the end of the day, you're gonna win eventually with more talent. But they're playing the Ravens this week. That's a tough matchup for them. My underreaction is something I don't feel like enough people are talking about. I didn't know if you were going to be here, Louie, or not, so I wanted to make sure this was talked about. Nico Collins is elite. It's time for him to stop being underrated. Like this 6'4", 222. He actually broke the Texans record for consecutive games with 80 or more receiving yards. He has 6 going back to last season. That's the most in their history, and that's a history that includes Andre Johnson. So, like,
he is the best 4-game start to a season of any Texans wide receiver of all time over DeAndre Hopkins and Andre Johnson.
Incredible. The dude is a problem. Like, let's be real. But yeah. So then my sicko of the week. Come on, guys. Oh. It's the king. It's Derrick Henry. Like he broke that game wide open, and he ran faster than Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I'll comment on this one too because I also have to give Henry his props. When back in my playing days, like when someone scores a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage, that's usually a pretty bad omen for what's going to happen.
That's not good.
And souls.
And that you just kind of look and you're like, oh, And that 87-yard touchdown was just like, this could be a long day. And I think the other play that really stood out to me was the play that he gave Taylor Rapp a concussion on. Taylor Rapp made a perfect form tackle and got his head across the ball and did like everything that you're supposed to do. And the only problem is it's just Derrick Henry, and he's a human horse.
Yeah, I mean, he's 250 pounds, and he ran faster than somebody who's 165 pounds. So, like, I'm sick of hearing, oh, he's washed. He's certainly not washed.
No,
Homie is about as clean as they come. The king is still the king. Don't touch that crown. Last thing I'm going to say in this intro is this is something a little bit new, but it's the Pissy Pants Player of the Week. I actually have a couple of images for you before I say it, so we're going to start with this one. So, see, Aaron Rodgers looks like he's looking – it looks like an office interview where he's talking like, what went wrong this week? I don't know. You tell me. Look straight into the camera. And this is the other image of Aaron Rodgers this week. Like, this is the dude who's supposed to be the leader of your franchise. This is the guy who's supposed to be the man you rally around. I actually heard a stat this past week. In games that you have to throw the ball more than 40 times, Aaron Rodgers' win percentage is under 400. So so games that essentially you need to have Aaron Rodgers, like you're throwing the ball 40 plus times, like his winning percentage is like 0.396. Like 39% of the time he's winning a game like that. Just for quick reference, Brady's is like 700. But yeah, so that was another thing. Aaron Rodgers, not the dude. Diced us up real bad, but not the dude. Okay, somebody else can talk now. I rambled. Did my early show ramble.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. I will go with my biggest surprise is the way that the Commanders blew out the Cardinals. I'm pretty sure I picked the Cardinals to win this game. I thought this would be a close game, but man, oh man, did that offense is really firing on all cylinders. That was one that I did not have on my bingo card. And moving on to overreaction, underreaction. This was one that I heard at this place I was at. I went out to a local place to watch the Bills Ravens game. I was telling Lamb about it, and there was a Bills fan who told me that he thought Bills Vikings, the two teams that are 0-4 in Super Bowls, was his Super Bowl picks, and I was just thinking like, wow, that's a September Super Bowl pick for you right there. I've always said September is fool's gold football, and then that was something that the Bills were reminded of very, very painfully this past week. Like, we quite obviously feasted against some really bad defenses, and went up against a legitimate one and got pretty much shut down. So,
one thing,
and it's not going to get any easier this week, I don't think either.
One thing about the Vikings, real quick. I mean, they beat
the
Texans, the 49ers, and the Packers. Like, those aren't cupcake teams. Those are all teams we thought were going to make a deep playoff run. So that was all I wanted to add on.
Yeah, that's a fair counterpoint. And then my underreaction. How good the Bucks are. Maybe some people are talking about this, but I feel like they're like Baker Mayfield is playing some of his best football that he's like played in his career, and the Browns Deshaun Watson trade looks worse and worse every day.
250 guaranteed, 250 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed, all the money.
They made 3 draft picks this year. Was it 3 or 5, something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. But one of their draft picks all just got suspended, so worse and worse every day. The curse.
And then underreaction is how good the Bucks are. They're a real contender in the NFC in my eyes. And then certified sicko of the week. Already talked about Derrick Henry, and also basically just talked about Baker Mayfield. threw the ball 47 times this past week. Completed 30 of them, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Torched the Eagles. Torched them.
Yeah, they got torched, man. Eagles, don't have everything figured out, but they're a pretty decent team, I think, by most people's standards. And they did not look at this past week. It's tough to come down to Florida and play 1 p.m. games down here this time of year too.
Todd Bowles might have Nick Sirianni's number. Like that just might be a thing as well. Those are words I never thought I'd hear myself say, but that's the world we're living in.
But that's all I got. We can move on to the next one.
Okay, I'll go next. My biggest surprise is Cliff Kingsbury might be that guy. Right, we all want to give JD5 his flowers, and that's fine. But the play calling on that offense is pretty much immaculate right now. I know we ran him out of Arizona, and nobody was a big fan of his. But man, the play calling has been so good for the Commanders, and I think it's hard to overlook. I went with an overreaction this week that I think people are giving an overreaction to, and that's that the Eagles are falling apart. I've seen some panic mode, Nick Sirianni stuff going around right now. My biggest thing is look, they went into this game down their top 3 wide receivers. Hardly any team in the league is going to win that game. Okay, the Bucs are a good team. I don't necessarily agree with some of the play calling script. Like, how do you do 2 whole drives before Saquon touches the ball when he's the only good player on your offense right now? But I think they'll still be in a playoff spot come January. And then my certified sicko of the week is Nico Frico Collins. I had to bring him in here, right? He's leading the league in receiving yards by over 100. He has 45% of CJ Stroud's passing yards are to Nico Collins right now. He is far and away, to be honest, the offensive player of the year right now. I don't really think it's a debate. Saquon, I guess, would probably be in there. But,
Derrick Henry?
Yeah, Derrick Henry had a rough couple starts to the game. But, I mean, yeah, this last performance probably puts him in that conversation. But, yeah, I think it would be Nico Collins as of today. Then my second sicko of the week, as noted by Nolan here as well, Jared Goff throwing the first perfect game in NFL history.
He also caught a touchdown pass as well.
That's insane. Yeah, 1 target, 1 reception for 7 yards and a touchdown.
Animal. Those are Mike Vrabel numbers right there. That's I
want to see the PFF grade on. I'm gonna go look at it later. But if he doesn't have a perfect rating, I don't understand. He did everything you want him to do.
Played the perfect game. He
really did.
He scored more touchdowns than he threw incompletions.
Yes, he did.
Interesting stat.
Austin, hit us with yours.
Yeah, so I know Louie touched on this last week. It was the Vikings. Mine's the Vikings. You all talked about it too. But also to add on to that, Sam Darnold is the passing touchdowns leader in the NFL. I think that no one expected that at all. So that's pretty surprising to see through 4 weeks. And then my overreaction, kind of the same as Louis. It's the Eagles are in trouble, and I don't think they are. Like he said, they were down their top 3 wide receivers. And, Blake talked about it too with the Bucs being really good this year. So I don't think that that's going to become a terrible loss when it comes down to it. And then my underreaction, Bengals defense might keep them out of the playoffs. And I know, so the first 2 weeks, everyone was talking about Burrow and how his wrist was flimsy. He couldn't hold up a water bottle, if y'all remember that 2 weeks ago. And I think not enough people are talking about how bad this defense is. It's a really bad defense. And like you all said, with the Panthers scoring 24 points, the defense is going to hurt them a lot. So I don't think enough for talking about that. Certified sicko of the week. So obviously Goff and Henry were taken. So I'm going to go to my bread and butter with Justin Fields. And he almost had a 400 total yard game. I think he was 30 yards off. 3 total touchdowns. He looks really good.
Looks great.
He does.
So looks great.
Some instances I still think he's doing too much, but I mean, I'd rather have that than somebody not doing enough. You know what I mean?
Well,
the offensive line. Your option on him.
The offensive line needs to show up. They need to if they protect him during the first part of that game, the Steelers win that game. And then also they need to get the ball to George Pickens more. I don't get what people don't understand. Like Brian Daboll, he's like, okay, we have Malik Neighbors. The rest of our wide receiving core is not very good. So let's like give Malik Neighbors 15 targets a game. Like, let's do that thing and get him involved with the ball. And the Steelers are like, nah, we're gonna like throw it to Calvin Austin. We're gonna like get Van Jefferson involved and like Cordell Patterson, who was running hard, but like get the guy involved, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's not going to get any better too because I know half the Steelers line is out with injuries now. I know the rookie Fontanu, who was going to be starting, he got out. He's going to be out for a period of time, and then somebody just got ruled out for the season. I think it's our tackle Daniels. So it's going to be trouble. So, yeah.
Word. So we're gonna get into these game picks, huh?
Yeah. So Austin and Tyler, you guys go ahead and go in depth on game one, which is Bucks Falcons Thursday Night Football.
I'll go ahead and start. I have the Bucks winning, Bucks covering +1.5. I think the Bucks should be favored in this game. They've showed that they're better on both sides of the ball. This is an interesting matchup though because it's a divisional matchup. Those are always a little tougher than they like should be. You look at the matchup, you're like, oh, this should be good for them, but they know each other. They're rivals. Like this is going to be a tough game. I think Baker Mayfield is the sicko of this game. He's just feeling himself right now, man. If he wakes up feeling dangerous and he's on it, like he's playing like a top tier quarterback. Like I know he has limitations, but like, man, Cleveland, you guys got to be kicking yourself. Every game that goes by, it looks worse and worse. I will say this though, you can't let up like a pressure 55% of the time per drop back. Like you can't do that. That's not a way, like nobody's going to survive in that, but still. And then Chris Godwin's going to be my anytime touchdown scorer for this game. Him and Baker got it going on. He's playing in the slot. Mike Evans should see AJ Terrell. Chris Godwin's going to feast again and just mismatch. And I just don't think the Falcons like look all that great. Like they're still doing the whole like let's get Algier the ball instead of use Bijan Robinson thing. Kyle Pitts is still not involved whatsoever. The wide receivers have increased their production, yeah, but the offense is not cooking as how it should be. So.
Yeah, I'm actually on the opposite spectrum here. I like the Falcons here. I like the Falcons to win. I like the Falcons to cover. Something about being at home in these rivalry games, these divisional games, I think it does have an upper hand, especially on an early week. So I do like the Falcons here. My sicko is going to be Bijan Robinson. I think this is going to be a game where he can come out and show that he is a top 10 running back in the league, whether that's going to be in the trenches or if it's going to be, catching balls. I think this is going to be his game. But I'm also going to agree with you. I think Chris Godwin does get in the end zone here. And yeah, I really do like the Falcons here, though.
I love Bijan, man. Get the ball in his hands, but they have to give him the ball. He's going to be on the field to do what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll go briefly next, and then we can roll Bahookie, and then you can go to the next one. But yeah, I'm taking Falcons here as well. Falcons money line, Falcons spread. AJ Terrell is going to be my big player of the game. I think he's going to hold Mike Evans to under 50 yards on this matchup. And then I have Darnell Mooney as my touchdown scorer.
I love that. He's been steadily involved.
Yeah, I just feel like he gets the good ISO outside matchup on the deep post that I just feel like Kirk throws really well. Like I've seen him run that exact route about 3 times. One of them was a missed throw. I think 2 of them were touchdowns though. So get that matchup again.
Yeah, this is going to be a good matchup. I like the point Austin brought up. This is a rivalry that I do know a little bit about because I live in Tampa. And these teams over the last couple of years have actually won on the road a lot for whatever reason. I don't think it makes sense. It's kind of a wacky rivalry. And Atlanta's kind of like Miami in that like they don't have a very good home crowd a lot of the time. It's a very big transplant city. And a lot of their games turn out to be like 50-50 in terms of the crowd. So and yeah, I'm big Baker Mayfield guy right now. He's slinging it, and I like the Bucks to continue to roll here. Bucks win. Bucks covering the 1.5. Mike Evans really started to come on. It was a little bit of a slower start for him by his expectations that he's built, but I like him to get back to it. And Bucky Irving for anytime touchdown score. It looks like
Love that.
He's kind of starting to take that role away from Rashad White, much to the dismay of many of my dynasty teams. So I will move it along right into Jets Vikings. I went against the grain on a handful of the games here. I know the Jets did not look good at all last week, and the Vikings have been one of the hottest teams in the NFL to start the season, and doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'm a math guy, and something that we see a lot when teams play really bad or play really good, the following week is a return to the mean, and that's going to be something that I say, and you'll hear me say again throughout the season. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the player of the game. He didn't have a good game last week, but this team plays the Bills next week, and I expect them to figure their offense out the week before. And go into that game ready to play, because that's just how the world works. Quarterbacks and teams figure out their offense when they're ready to play us, and kickers always make their career longs against the Bills. That's like it's a crazy stat, like how many times it's happened. I'm serious.
I know.
I digress.
That's such a Bills stat.
We're talking about the Jets now, and the anytime touchdown scorer is the guy who got absolutely shut down by the Denver Broncos defensive line, Breece Hall. I don't expect him to average 0.4 yards per carry this week.
Yeah. So I took Vikings to win and cover here, but one interesting thing that I did want to point out, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets win this game, because the 4 games that the Vikings have played have all been against either Daniel Jones, caveat, or rookie QBs with less than 2 full seasons worth of starts. So Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, and Jordan Love. They're playing in blitz formation a lot, and they're definitely giving some wacky looks dropping off the line. That's kind of the Brian Flores special. But I think we have to see how that holds up against veteran QBs who've seen this before. Like, not exactly. I don't know that anyone's ever played defense the way Brian Flores is playing defense right now. But Aaron Rodgers definitely knows how to beat certain coverages more than like Jordan Love or CJ Stroud would at this point of their career. So if anybody's going to take advantage of the fact that these people are playing wacky coverages, Aaron Rodgers seems like a really good fit for that. The other thing, I would say that my big player of the game on this one is going to be Aaron Jones. I haven't really loved the Jets' run defense, and I think Aaron Jones has been heating up as the season goes on, so I could see a big game from him. And then Jalen Naylor, I think his first name's Jalen, their wide receiver 3 has kind of been cooking, and he's the one that won't get DJ Reed or Sauce Gardner, so I could see him finding his way into the end zone.
Word. I took the Vikings here. I took the Vikings -2. It's one of those games, like, if I thought about it long enough, yeah, I could see a future where the Jets win this game. It's in London. This is a London game.
Yeah, worth noting. Yeah,
I don't necessarily know how Cranky Pants McGee's axe is going to handle traveling like that. Like, look at this face. Do you think he wants to go to London? He doesn't want to go to London. So
it's close to Egypt, so maybe he'll just hop on over.
Yeah, he wants to go to Egypt when he wants to go. He doesn't want to go to Europe when he has to play football. Anyway,
go ahead.
So the Vikings, yeah, I get they've played a little bit more inexperienced quarterbacks, but they're not playing bad teams. They have wins over the 49ers, the Packers, and the Texans. All 3 teams are championship caliber teams, or teams that should be in their respective conference championship. And the Vikings pretty much dominated all 3 of those games. This Jets team lost to the Broncos. I can't trust you. Sam Darnold revenge game. He ain't going to be seeing ghosts on Sunday morning. I'll tell you that. And then Jordan Addison's going to be the touchdown scorer. He's just going to unlock this offense. Like, they've been doing this without him and without TJ Hawkinson. So, like, once they're both back, like, sky's the limit for this team. Like, they still have more options and more help coming. So, yeah.
TJ Hawkinson. Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, so I'm with Blake here. I think the Jets are going to win, and I think the Jets are going to cover. It's a London game. It's wacky. I don't really know how these games work out from previous years, but
teams that travel earlier in the week usually play better.
I remember that stat because didn't the Jacksonville play 2 games in London? They had like
they're about to play 2 games in London again, but yes, they did, and they won.
They had that whole week. Yeah, they won both of them, right? So yeah, but I'm gonna take Jets +2, Jets money line. My stud of the game is gonna be the Jets defense. I don't know how Sam Darnold's going to do against them. I know he did very well against 49ers defense, but something about the Jets, they just seem scrappy. Something about the Jets defense seems scrappy, and I'm interested to see how he handles it, especially going overseas. And then my touchdown, I also agree with Blake. I think it's going to be Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is going to get in the end zone. Like he said, I don't think you can hold him 2 straight weeks to 0.4 yards a carry. So I'm going to take Breece Hall.
Go ahead and roll us right into Bengals Ravens, Austin.
Yeah, sure. So on this one, I'm going to take Ravens. I'm going to take Ravens money line, Ravens -2.5. And my stud of the game is going to be Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry just had his game, and I think this is the game where Lamar will come out, show his dominance, especially against, like I said, the Bengals defense that has been putrid this year. And then anytime touchdown score, let's just keep it rolling. I'll go with Derrick Henry. Get down to the 1 yard line and give it to him.
Word. I'm taking the Ravens to win, Ravens to cover here. Real simple. Derrick Henry's my sicko of the week. The Panthers just rushed for 155 yards on this team. They had 375 total yards of offense, converted 50% of their third down attempts. Of their 14 third down attempts, this defense is lost. And you're gonna go put this rush defense that just let Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders run for 155 on them against Derrick Henry, who's coming off 157 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 199 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not good. Not some people are going to be making business decisions left and right, and their business decision is to save that back from getting cracked. And yeah, Jamar Chase, anytime touchdown scorer. This should be a classic game. I know it's an AFC North game, so like probably bet the under, but it should be an over game. This should be a game where points are scored. Neither of these defenses have played very well, realistically. But yeah, give me the Ravens. Derrick Henry just too much with every other piece that they have in that offense.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens win, Ravens cover, obviously. I'm going to take Zay Flowers as my stud of the game. I think they're going to look to get him more involved, and I just have not been impressed with this Bengals pass rush win rate. That's always hard for me to say. I think they're bottom of the league in that. You give Lamar Jackson time to scramble around in that pocket. I think Zay Flowers has a pretty good game. And then I've got T. Higgins as my touchdown scorer. They tried to get him the ball 3 different times in the end zone last week. I think he's red zone look for Joe Burrow, and I think they find him this week. Because I think everyone got called back last week, unless I'm imagining that.
No, I think he had one. I think Higgins had one.
I'm gonna go look right now. He's on one of my teams.
Honestly, the Bengals' best player on defense right now has been Cam Taylor-Britt. He did not.
He did not. Okay. I think two or three of them were pass interference, got called back, kind of thing.
True. But yeah, the only player on this defense who's playing anything worth a damn is Cam Taylor-Britt. That dude's playing like a sicko. But Bahookie, right? You can lead us in after.
Yep, and then lead us into Texans Bills.
That's gonna be a fun stretch here. Ravens to win, Ravens to cover. Derrick Henry, also one of my certified sickos of the week, so I don't feel bad about picking the same one as Lamb on this one because he deserves it. And one that I never thought I would pick here, Nelson Aguilar. One of the players I have myself have talked some of the most shit about. I shared the most offensive memes about. He made some great plays against the Bills and really looked pretty damn good for what he's been, where he's at in his career, and would not surprise me to find his way into the end zone this weekend against the Bengals. All right, what's up?
Good old breakfast. Good old breakfast, Aguilar.
Yeah.
I said good old. I said good old breakfast, Aguilar. You know.
Yes, that is what he is known for, is dropping it. But he made some good plays against the Bills, so I will give him his flowers this week. Moving on into the game of the week for Louie and I, and
shouldn't be a noon game.
Many football fans objectively, neutrally. Bills Texans, 1 p.m.er, best time slot in football in my opinion. And I hate waiting for primetime games. Honestly, I just want to get to it. And Bills, I got to win here. I got Josh Allen playing some FU ball, as Shane used to say. I have Bills covering here, but I think this game goes to overtime. Is one of my predictions. I think that this is really going to be like back and forth. Maybe we see one of the teams pull ahead by 2 touchdowns, and then we see a team roar back. And I got Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things in this game. He's in a dome. Josh Allen plays his best games in domes.
Maybe they'll open the roof.
Maybe that's an interesting one. And yeah, Stephon Diggs, revenge game. He's gonna show up for this game. He's gonna wake up for this one. He's gonna have the ball in his hands. CJ Stroud's gonna be looking for him. And he's probably, and I expect him to probably get a touchdown, maybe even 2.
Weird timing for that Josh Allen comment last week. I thought he clarified it, but just the way, I mean, you're seeing that guy in 2 weeks make a comment about him felt a little odd.
Yeah, you can go ahead and take it from there, Louie.
Sure. So it's interesting. The spreads actually changed since when we set the show sheet up this afternoon. Texans are now the underdogs. They're and the Bills are now the favorites. I'm taking the Texans to win this game. I just feel like it could go either way, so I got to ride with my boys. I will say one thing I'm extremely worried about is Josh Allen, because we do not cover mobile quarterbacks well. It's been a weakness. We see it with Anthony Richardson. We've seen it with Lamar Jackson in the playoffs last year. So I would expect him to use his legs a good bit in this game, and I think we're gonna pay dearly for it. My stud of the game is going to be Nico Collins. I know that the Bills have been really, really good about taking wide receiver ones away, but I don't know that you can take Nico Collins and CJ Stroud away. That connection seems just almost fake, like almost modified somehow. So I've got him, and then I've got Joe Mixon as my touchdown scorer. He finally should be back for this, and this hopefully some semblance of a run game actually helps us convert a little more than every single down being freaking 3rd and 7.
Yeah. I liked a lot of things both of you guys said. I'm taking the Bills here. I'm taking the Bills +1. I think the Texans have kind of played down to each opponent that they've kind of played. 27 against Indy in the first week, and that was one of Anthony Richardson's on games, which can get like that. I understand. Then they kind of let the Vikings do whatever they wanted to them, and then they kind of got beat up by the Jags a little bit, and until it was time to come win the game, and the Jags inevitably threw up on themselves, and CJ went and took it. But I think the Bills getting beaten like that in prime time, that's just a bad recipe for being the next team up on their schedule. Josh Allen's going to be the sicko of this game. He's going to play some FU ball, like you said. Nico Collins, man, we've talked about him. He's going to score. 15 targets, 10 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets. Like he is the target guy. Like he's the guy. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to continue the trend. I'm going to go with the Bills. Bills money line, Bills +1. I think Josh Allen's going to be the stud of the game. But also agree. I think Stephon Diggs wakes up for it. Of course, revenge game. I gotta at least say he's going to be a touchdown scorer. So,
okay, roll us into Panthers Bears.
Absolutely. So, I think I'm going to take the Bears money line, but I'm going to take the Panthers to cover. I think they can cover the 3.5 if it is still 3.5. Does anyone know if it is?
I'll double check.
It is. Yeah, it is. Still 3.5. Yeah. So I'm going to take the Panthers to cover. I like Deontay Johnson to be a touchdown scorer this week. And, let's give the rookie a little credit. Let's go ahead and say he's going to be the stud of the game. Let's have some fun. I'd like Caleb Williams to be stud of the game.
Okay. So I have the Bears winning this game. I have the Bears covering. Things are starting to kind of come together a little bit in Chicago. DeAndre Swift still sucks. Don't get that twisted by his big 37-yard touchdown run. He jumped. It was a good run. Like he just. Who do
you hate more, DeAndre Swift or Zach Moss?
Oh, definitely Zach Moss. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely Zach Moss.
DeAndre Swift is making a very slow, inefficient run up to second though.
he's taking his sweet time. Horrible vision because he's turning left when he should be turning right, running into people instead of his holes. But anyway, I like what the Panthers are doing. I just think that the Chicago's defense is unlike anything they've seen so far this season. Like they're going to be truly tested by this defense. This team beat the Titans and didn't score a point on offense. And they scored 24 points. I think this could be one of those games. DJ Moore revenge game. He's going to be my sicko of the week. I think this is the first time that he's playing Carolina. Am I correct? Since he got traded? So yeah. And he's got the squeaky wheel treatment. Like he's clearly frustrated. They haven't been on the same page. I feel like this is going to be one of those games that you're like, all right, we have to get him like 10 to 12 targets. We got to get him like 5 on the first drive. We got to get him involved. And then Deontay Johnson's going to be my touchdown scorer because I feel like during his whole career, Austin, you can attest to this, he did not find the end zone very often for the incredible amount of usage that he has. And I think that his career is it's doing the, regress to the mean sort of thing. I think he's going to start seeing touchdowns consistently on this Panthers team with Andy Dalton. They have a rapport, and he's clearly the most explosive weapon that they have on this team. So, yeah.
I like that. I'm taking Bears here to win and cover. I'm taking the Bears to win, Panthers to cover. Rome Odunze is going to be my stud of the game. I think the opposite. I think his rapport with Caleb Williams is growing while DJ Moore and Caleb Williams can't get on the same page. And I think Odunze is going to have a great game. And then I've got Chuba Hubbard trying to hold on to his starting role as my touchdown scorer of the game. But don't worry, buddy, it's not yours much longer.
No, they're gonna have to use him a little bit. Like he's shown enough when he has been showcased to at least have a role on this offense.
He'll have some, but I mean, you spent too high of a pick on Jonathan Brooks just to be like, yeah, we're rocking with Chuba this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't say rocking, but like he's coming off an ACL. You got to ease him in, like see how it reacts. But yeah, no, I like that pick a lot. What do you got, Bahookie?
Yeah, I'm going against the grain here and going with the Panthers. I don't feel like they played that bad of ball the last couple of weeks, by like compared to what we've seen. And call me crazy, I trust Andy Dalton in this game more than I trust Caleb Williams. And maybe I'll be wrong for that. I've been wrong before.
I don't think that's crazy at all, by the way.
I trust the Bears defense more than I trust Andy Dalton.
That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
And Deontay Johnson looks like he's starting to play like a wide receiver one that they went out and spent some capital for. I'm going with him to have another big game here against this questionable Bears defense, in my opinion. And then I'm with you on Chuba here. And Yeah, we were talking about Jonathan Brooks is now expected to come off of the PUP list this week, or he's eligible to. I'm not sure if he's activated.
They haven't opened his window yet, so I don't know if it's going to be this week. It's probably going to be next week if I have to guess.
And even if he is activated this week, which I think he's eligible to be,
yes.
You're coming off of an ACL, as we said, and like we saw with Breece Hall last year in the first couple of games, he would hit the holes and he didn't have that breakaway speed yet. So I still like Chuba Hubbard as the RB1 in this offense, and I like him to score a touchdown this week. Rolling in to Browns versus Commies. I've got the Commies, and pretty much all of us have Jaden Daniels as our sicko of the week on this one. In our nationwide league, I've been starting Dak Prescott as my starting quarterback for a while, and I somehow got Jaden Daniels at the end of the first round. I don't know how it happened,
one quarterback league.
Yeah, one quarterback league, and I think that Jaden Daniels has earned the start over Dak Prescott in fantasy leagues. I don't think that's a hot take at all.
He is just so efficient. A lot of people are like, well, I mean, his star is going to shine bright, but not too long. I think he's making a lot of smart decisions, like sliding, running out of bounds, throwing the ball away, quick reads. He's not getting hit very often. Like, he's making plays, extending them, and still doing the smart things to keep himself safe. And that really shows maturity. It shows that he's played a lot of games. And yeah, Commanders -3 and Eckler to score. I was already talking. I figured I'd finish that one up for you guys.
Yeah, I had Terry McLaurin was my anytime touchdown scorer. That was the only thing I had left.
I feel that.
I feel like there's something we can rip through. Commanders to cover. I'm thinking Brian Robinson is my stud of the game. I think this rushing defense on the Browns just isn't what I've hoped it would be, and he's had some big games. And then I've got Jaden Daniels running one in.
The Browns' defense is just atrocious, and their offensive line is just a mess. Like, go for it, Austin, though.
Let's just continue the trend. I'll go JD5. But I'll go Commanders as well. JD5, start of the game. JD5, anytime touchdown.
Love it.
Damn.
Love it.
All right, we'll listen to Colts Jaguars, most unwatchable game of the week, in my opinion.
No,
Dolphins Pats is still I take that back.
Yeah,
there we go. That is the correct answer.
Okay. All right,
that game's going to be like 2-3.
I want to see what the
safety
over
on field
that game is.
That's it. Under.
I'm gonna go look.
Under. It don't even matter what if it's like 20, just under.
It's
I'm gonna alternate
35.5 is the current. Wow. That seems so high.
I'm alternate lining that at 20. Like we're putting the total for 20. That's what we're doing.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna do Colts Jags here. Man, Steelers just came off a game against Colts. It actually looked pretty good. Flacco didn't look bad. Kind of continuing his trend from last year with the Browns. So I guess I'm going to take the Colts money line, and Colts, of course, the 2.5. I like Jonathan Taylor to be the stud of the week. And then what's Alec Pierce? I'll take Alec Pierce anytime touchdown.
Okay. So Joe Flacco off the couch yet again looks better than Jacoby Brissett with a full off season of preparation. It's fucking incredible. I hate everything about it. Andy Dalton too, he could go be a feasible NFL quarterback, I guess. Anyway, back to the Colts Jaguars. I have the Colts plus 2.5. This Jags team that might have been. That Texans game in division, that might have been the heartbreaker. They can't pass protect. They can't run the football, and their defense sucks. So, what are you gonna do? The Colts O-line is actually my certified sicko of the week. I think that there's gonna be holes everywhere, and either if it's Flacco or Richardson, there's gonna be plenty of time to throw it. And I think Pittman's starting to kind of get a little bit hotter as the season progresses. He had a big game, and 60-70 of those yards came with Richardson in. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's Joe Flacco. Well, he did about half his damage with Flacco, and he did about half his damage with Richardson. So I think he is just starting to heat up.
Yeah, I am taking the Jaguars on this one.
Very off-brand.
Yeah,
let me tell you why. The Colts never win this game in Jacksonville. Never. No matter how good their team is, I think they have lost this game 7 years in a row.
That's crazy.
Something like that. You guys would have to fact check me, but even Colts fans are just like, bench everybody. It's an unwinnable week. I've been seeing that on my timeline all week. It feels like one of those destiny things. But the Jags are actually favored in this too, I think, unless I wrote that down. The Jags are favored by 2.5, which is just somehow nuts to me. So I'm taking Jags to win and cover. I'm taking Josh Hines Allen as my stud of the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr. anytime touchdown.
He might be the best player on that football team.
He is far and away the best player on that football team.
Like, wow.
I think they get Evan Ingram back here too, which I think is going to help this team a lot.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Trevor Lawrence he's got to reel it in, man. He's like barely completing 60%. His accuracy is a problem. He's like not completing 60% of his passes. And like, that was your whole thing, buddy. But go for it. Who's next? Bahookie?
So yeah, last season we didn't have any ties, and I'm gonna say that this is an ugly enough game where neither team could possibly be able to win this game. Like,
love it.
And so yeah, I get that, and by factor of that, the Jags would cover. If it ends in a tie. So I'm going to go with Jags covering the spread.
Jags, if the Colts would cover.
The Colts would cover plus 2.5.
Okay, I wrote that wrong. And that's
you're good.
So you want the Colts?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Jonathan Taylor has been pretty efficient recently, and he's all I could really feel like I don't know that I trust on this Colts offense. They were Anthony Richardson did play pretty good last week. Got Michael Pittman involved. Josh Downs got a touchdown. So Joe Flacco finished the game.
Yeah, he came in with, I think it was the second quarter, give or take, and he threw for like 170 and 2 touchdowns. So it was very serviceable performance.
Richardson hurt his hip, and they pulled him out for like 2 plays, and then they put him back in and ran a designed QB draw immediately.
It was an RPO. It was an RPO. He took it. Bad call, nonetheless. But let's make sure we got the call right.
Is Anthony Richardson is still the starter?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's gonna play this week. Yeah.
They were saying that if it was like a playoff game, he could have went back in and played. So he's playing. If that's how they're handling it.
Yeah, and well, with that being said, it sounds like he can play, but maybe he's not 100%. And that makes me feel even better about them leaning on Jonathan Taylor a little bit more. And I really wanted to say no anytime touchdown scorer. I really wanted to put that.
No touchdown.
But I thought my pick with the tie was already wild enough, so I went with Christian Kirk here. I feel hasn't had a great year, but
he's starting to come on.
He's starting to come on a little bit, and I think Evan Ingram would have been a good pick here too, and maybe not him getting back, but he can at least help space the field out a little bit more. If he's coming back as a decoy, you at least got to respect him and open in the red zone and open it up for someone else. So yeah, I went with Christian Kirk here as my anytime touchdown score.
Roll us into the game that's actually not going to feature a touchdown.
Yeah, so we got to speed round a little bit of this. We got 7 games left in 11 minutes. So some of these games that are stinkers, let's just kind of skim them.
Can we all agree no touchdown score?
I got the Pats in this one. I think you're finding a quarterback system that right now that's even worse than yours.
Maybe.
Snoop Huntley is not a timing quarterback. It's like he's an extend the play, improvise kind of guy. Like the Dolphins have a timing based offense, which you're only going to get by repetition. And so yeah, the issue is Skylar Thompson is the only one who actually knows the system and is practicing it, and he's terrible. So they had to say like Snoop is probably a better quarterback, but to have him come in this amount of time and start playing is just not. No, the Pats got this. And I went with Ramondre Stevenson, player of the game. Their run defense is not great. James Cook ran all over them. Ramondre Stevenson can run all over them. And I went with Antonio Gibson. He caught some really good balls from you. 3 catches, 67 yards last week. And again, James Cook was really excellent catching the ball against the Dolphins defense again.
It's a good raid.
Yeah,
so that's it.
Go for it.
I'm taking Dolphins here to win and cover. I'm taking Tyreek as the start of the game. I think they're just gonna do everything they can to get him involved, and I've got Achane to run in a touchdown.
Word, go for it, Austin. Then I can take it last and roll us in.
Yeah, I got Pats -1. Start of the game is going to be Ramondre Stevenson, and then I'm going to take Tyler Huntley Hatfield to run because he can't throw.
Okay. I'm taking the Pats to win, Pats to cover -1. Even if Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback in this game or somebody of that caliber, Jameis Winston, hell, Bryce Young, throw Bryce Young back there. And you guys know how much I think he fucking sucks. So they would win this game if any of those quarterbacks were playing, the Dolphins. This is the only reason the Pats have a shot. Gonzo is my player of the game because I think he actually had one of his best games of his career against Miami last time. I think this is a good matchup for him. And then anytime touchdown scorer, I'm leaning Jalen Polk here, like bringing it back to like the offensive coordinator conversation. Like, this is your dude. You drafted him in the second round. Like, let's get this guy like 8 to 10 targets in this game. Like, I don't give like nothing else is working. Why not give him a shot? Like, like what are you going to do? Lose the game? You're doing that anyway, and you look pathetic. So you might as well at least try and get the ball to a rookie and see what he has and see what he can do. Moving into Cardinals 49ers, I have the Niners winning this. I have the Cards covering it. Brock Purdy is my sicko of this game. I think he's played excellent this season.
He really has.
The game that they lost against the Vikings wasn't his fault. Like he was doing everything that he could possibly do to win that game. And Brandon Ayuk's going to score this week. He's too good of a football player to be held down this long. His contract and the lack of camp is probably the reason why he hasn't performed as well as he has been recently. The first 4 weeks, I think he kind of shakes that off in a divisional matchup, and he's the guy I'd be looking for.
I'm going to go Niners to win, and I'm going to go Niners to cover at home. My stud of the game is going to be Brock Purdy, and I think George Kittle gets back in the end zone this weekend. He had a nasty catch last week against the Patriots with the 3 defenders like hovered over him. So
gross. Emasculating was what that was.
I'm taking Niners to win, Cards to cover. I'm taking Deebo Samuel as my stud of the game. And I'm taking Trey McBride if he plays as my touchdown scorer. If not, I'm going Greg Dortch.
What about you, Bahookie?
All right, so another one. Yeah, I've got some spicy picks this week. I appreciate Mason coming through with all the comments here. Another one of my themes. I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. Returns to the mean. The Cardinals did not play good football last week, and I expect them to play better this week. And big spread. Seven points is a lot in any NFL game. And yeah, I'm calling the upset here in this early season divisional game. And I got Kyler Murray is my stud of the game, and MHJ is my anytime touchdown scorer.
Love that.
Roll us in. Broncos. I'll try and go quick. Broncos to win, Broncos to cover. Broncos D line is my stud of the week. They held Breece Hall in check to pretty much nothing last week, as I said earlier. So I think that they're going to continue to cause havoc and ruin games. And I'm going with Cortland Sutton as my anytime touchdown scorer.
Love it.
Yeah.
Louie, go for it.
I'm taking Broncos to win and cover. I'm taking Pat Surtain as my sicko of the week. I'm taking Alexander Madison for an anytime touchdown scorer. Zamir White is buns.
Yeah, he's ass. That dude sucks. Watch him sprint for a 50-yard touchdown in this game. But go for it, Austin. I'll wrap us into the next game.
Yeah, I'm going to go Broncos to win, Broncos to cover. Then I'm going to go stud of the week, Cortland Sutton, and then Bo Nix Legacy. I'm probably glad you brought it up.
Him and his -7 passing yards and a half.
Yeah,
love it.
Here's another one. He can't pass. Let's just have Bo Nix anytime touchdown rushing.
Look, hear me out.
That's not bad.
To the mean means he should have +7 passing yards in the next.
Yeah, there you go.
Can we find an alternative line for
Moneyball, baby?
That's how math works, right? I'm going to be contrarian here. I'm taking the Raiders. The Raiders +2.5. I think that the Broncos played like one of their better games all season. I know the game against the Bucks, they scored a couple more points, but they played like excellent defense and they did their job on offense. They still only scored 10 points. Like, this is not an explosive offense. Max Crosby should be back for this game. Christian Wilkins, Max Crosby, and Bo Nix is on the other side. Yeah, give me those two guys. Brock Bowers is going to be my stud, and Trey Tucker is going to be the touchdown scorer for that game.
Dude, Trey Tucker underrated.
He's nice, dude. He's nice.
Really good.
As John Gruden would say, he's got me feeling nicey.
Yeah, I mean, he especially with the Devontae Adams news that we haven't even really talked about yet. We might save that for next week.
Yeah, Rams Packers. It's just a rumor. He requested a trade today, but until we see teams materialize,
I mean, they said a second plus like that. I'd be doing that every day. Like I could. Like if I'm the Chiefs, I'm sending a second plus for Devontae Adams.
I don't think it's a second for the Chiefs. Let's be real.
True.
Their second's a third.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But we can get more into that next week possibly to
roll into Rams Packers.
I have the Packers to cover -3.5. This Rams team, I want them to be good, and they are better than what the collection of players that they have are because of the coach, but the Packers just have too much firepower. Their defense is good, and they just have too many ways to hurt you with a good offensive system as well. So give me the like I said, give me the Packers. Jaden Reed, sicko of this game. He might just be the sicko of this year. That dude's a problem. And then Tucker Kraft is going to score a touchdown. I think he kind of won the tight end job. Luke Musgrave is now the number 2 fully, and this is Tucker Kraft's role, and he's going to be used often in it.
We all got the Packers to win and to cover, so let's just go sicko and touchdown score.
Word.
Yeah, I've got Jaden Reed as my sicko and Romeo Dobbs as my touchdown scorer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Austin, what do you have?
Yeah, go ahead, Austin.
I got Jordan Love, and then I got Josh Jacobs.
Nice. You
And
want to lead us in?
Yeah,
what do you have, Bahookie?
I got Josh Jacobs as my stud of the game. I got Kyron Williams as my anytime touchdown scorer.
Nice.
All right, Giants Seahawks.
Yeah, I've got Seahawks to win. I've got Giants to cover +6. I've got DK Metcalf as my player of the game. I've got Kenneth Walker as my anytime touchdown scorer.
Yeah, I took Seahawks to win and cover here. I've got Kenneth Walker as my sicko of the game and DK Metcalf as my touchdown scorer. So,
I have the Seahawks. I have the Seahawks to win. The Giants to cover +6. Kenneth Walker is the sicko of the game, and Malik Neighbors scores a touchdown as long as he plays. Man, like
if he plays,
yeah. It's 10 days
stacked on Thursday.
Yeah, but typically a concussion takes about 8 days of rest. You might be able to play again, so it's 10 days this time. I wouldn't be surprised if he missed, but I personally think he'll play. We have to see how the reports kind of play out. Austin, did you go for this one?
No, I'm going to take the Seahawks money line. I'm going to take the Giants to also cover. My sicko of the game is going to be Malik Neighbors. I have a ton of fun watching that dude. I might as well go and say I'm just going to have him as my anytime touchdown as well.
Yeah,
totally fine with that.
Cowboys Steelers. You can wax
out.
Yeah, so Cowboys Steelers. Everybody knows Steelers my team. Of course, I'm going to go Steelers. Steelers -2.5. TJ Watt is going to be my sicko of the game, and I'll take George Pickens anytime touchdown.
Nice. I'm taking the Steelers to win, Steelers to cover here. The Cowboys have no rushing game at all. Like Rico Dallon's starting to look okay. Zeke's cooked. And Deuce Vaughn shouldn't be on a football field very often. And yeah, CD Lamb, he's the best part about this offense. The offense is basically predicated on him turning a play into a touchdown, a broken play, having him score. Like that's how they've been getting their points. And then my sicko is going to be TJ Watt. I think that they drafted Tyler Guyton, I believe, is their left tackle.
Yeah,
he's going to have some issues. He's going to have some issues.
TJ tends to play on the right side, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
true. So whoever the right tackle is, then is Tyler Smith. He's going to have some. One of those dudes is going to have a problem.
They're in trouble.
Yeah, not good. Dak better be watching. And then George Pickens, I have to score. The dude is just such. It might not be a Deontay Johnson thing. It might just be a Steelers thing. Like they're just random people on that team score. It's very frustrating because it should be Pickens. Pickens should be the whole thing. Everything's around him. But yeah, that's what I got for that game.
I've got Cowboys win and cover. I've got Micah Parsons as my player of the game if he plays. And then I've got George Pickens as my touchdown scorer as well.
Nice.
I went Steelers to win, Steelers to cover. I went with Moose, Pat Freer Moose as my player of the game here. I picked him as my anytime touchdown scorer last week, and I actually did get that one right.
Nice.
So I like him against this Cowboys defense with Justin Fields running and gunning and moving into my anytime touchdown scorer, Justin Fields. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. And moving into our Monday nighter, which actually looks like it might be a pretty decent game. And preseason, and looking at this one, you might not have thought so much, but with that being said, I'm still taking the Chiefs to win and to cover. There's kind of been some whispers about, how the Chiefs have started, I guess, because they're 4-0, but they haven't really beaten the brakes off of anyone yet. And I think that's what's going to happen this week. Pat Mahomes is gonna go out and play some interception-free football. ? I think he will, and I think Travis Kelce gets into the end zone this weekend.
I'm going to take Saints to win and cover. I'm taking Alvin Kamara as my sicko of the game. I'm taking Rashid Shaheed as my touchdown scorer. And I would like to take a moment of silence for Rashee Rice's knees. Yeah, I believe there's some kind of blood ritual involved where Patrick Mahomes must sacrifice a part of his teammate in order to keep his status alive as baby GOAT. And so he saw how many interceptions he was throwing. He said, "Sorry, Rashee," and he just blew that man's knee out.
Why couldn't he pick Juju?
Because it has to be a good player.
No,
he's like you're playing too well. You're
all right. Noah Gray. Can we compromise? Like, shit, man. That Rashid Rice
probably isn't brutal until 2026 with things as they stand.
I have
he's not doing much standing.
He's doing a lot of rolling around. I have the Saints winning this game. I have the Saints covering +5. The Chiefs lost Hollywood Brown before the season even started. Then week 2, they lose Isaiah Pacheco. Now week 4, Rashee Rice tears his ACL. Like, it's going to get to the point where you need to have like a player. Travis Kelce looks like he's going to get back involved in this offense again out of pure necessity. And they're going to have to get Xavier Worthy more kind of integrated into this offense. But I just think that's a tough task. And the Saints have kind of lost 2 games in a row here. So I'm thinking about a little bit bringing both teams back to the mean. The Chiefs won 2 games that they probably shouldn't have won. The Saints lost 2 games that they probably should have won. And I kind of just see that like the Chiefs are going to lose at some point. I feel like this is the spot. Monday Night Football. I feel like they could be sleeping on the Saints team too for whatever reason after 2 bad showings. Like they could get punched in the mouth. So, and then I have Travis Kelce having being the sicko of this game because somebody on the Chiefs is going to have to move this offense. And then Alvin Kamara is going to be the touchdown scorer because that dude is severely underrated and has pretty much the same numbers as Christian McCaffrey since they entered the league and is never talked about in the same circle. So somebody give that man the credit he deserves.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win, but I'm gonna take the Saints to cover the 5. And I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna be the sicko of this game. Kind of what Blake said. The dude needs to have one primetime game where he's not throwing an interception. I think this might be the one. And then an odd thing, like Travis Kelce doesn't have a touchdown this year. I don't know if anyone's.
Yep, I think this is
7 yards. Something stupid.
I think this is the one
he's got to be one of the main targets now, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's pretty much saying what Tyler was saying. I think Kelce gets in the end zone here.
I have one more thing about the Mahomes stuff. There's been 21 games, I'm pretty sure, since he has thrown 3 touchdown passes in a game. So yeah, go back to week 3 in Chicago of the 2023 season was the last time Mahomes threw 3 touchdowns in a game. And then also he's in that same 21 game stretch, he's only thrown for 300 yards or more in 4 games of that 21 game stretch.
I got one for you.
Could never.
That's not great.
I got one to add on top of that. And since he's been in the league, he also has the most interceptions wiped out by penalties in the NFL.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, piece of candy.
I want to say it's like 20 something.
That's a lot. But yeah, I just wanted to add that little last nugget there. I saw that when I was talking about a fantasy trade, and I remembered it as we were having that conversation. Wanted to get it on the books there.
So that wraps week 5 preview for us, guys. As always, we'll be here next Tuesday, so make sure and tune in then. Make sure and check out stadiumrant.com for all your upcoming news. Follow us on Twitter. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace out, everybody.